Welcome to episode 9 of the Quamfy Show. Today, we are going to be talking about cybersecurity and risk considerations for CBDCs. We're going to talk about Andrew Carrier and his shitposting practices. We're going to have a look at the Quant Twitter. There was an event last week, IFGS 2022, if I'm not mistaken. And we have another guest, and his name is Bas. And this is the first time Bas is here in English. Should we call you Base, or is it just Bas?
Bas will work.
Bas will work. Excellent. Welcome.
Bas.
Bas. Bas is an admin in the a community admin, not a team admin, in the developer group for the Quant Network developer community. He has supported us in the Dutch episodes before. We asked him to be here for the English episode this time. So welcome again.
Thanks. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and Tim is here. Tim, how's life?
I'm here. Life's good. I'm really glad that Bas is here as well. So now it's the three of us instead of just Jarno and me. In Dutch, it really worked out in the last two episodes, and we decided it would be really cool to do it in English too.
Yep.
So here we are. Yeah, to answer your question, life is good. Yeah, nothing new, just another week. So how's life on your side, Jarno?
Quamfy as ever. There's price appreciation that is unbecoming quant, which is shit. But besides that, the FA is always interesting. The partnerships are amazing. The rabbit holes have more rabbit holes than I thought was even possible, which is pretty cool. I see a lot of developments within the quant community regarding the DAO, regarding initiatives to spark more community engagement. More information will follow in the coming week, but there are a couple of initiatives going on besides the DAO. So people talking about roundtables, Twitter Spaces, Q&A sessions. We at the Quamfy Show even are looking at getting more guests. So the place is buzzing, and I think everything around Quant is buzzing, and I think people that are already in are bullish as hell, and it's feels like we're on the precipice of something.
Yeah,
it's like how do they call that? Crossing the chasm or something. There's like this point that you need to cross, and then all the dominoes will just start falling. To me, it feels like we're there. Everything is picking up, and oh shit, we forgot. We're also gonna have a chat on the questions that Don from the DAO asked to Quant Network, and they responded. Maybe Tim, you can look that up so you can share the screen later.
I will look it up. Yeah.
Yeah, they came
I'll
with a
do my
reply,
job.
and there were some feels also on my end, so we're going to address that in a bit as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Motor Mouth Jarno, back at it. Jesus.
And Bas, how's life over there?
I'm doing well. I'm a little bit shocked that Jarno just mentioned that the price is doing not so well. I think I only get updates about price when I talk to you guys. So, oh shit.
It's not too bad, really. We're just at the same level
I
as
really
2
don't
weeks
care.
ago.
Okay, well.
We just lost another house in price appreciation once again.
Yeah, well.
It's just
what's the
joking,
Lambo here or there? Sorry.
No, but luckily my feelings and my life happiness isn't connected to quant price appreciation at this point in time. So I'm actually doing well. Didn't look at anything other than being happy that something changed in the developer dashboard. The old environment is no longer. There used to be an old environment.
1.5.
1.5.
Spirit
It
is
is
empty.
gone. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm not always a negative Nancy, but any progress is progress. So something changed. So I'm a happy camper. Personally, I mostly spend my time just in dev and hoping to get some stuff done there eventually. So as long as I see movement, I'm happy.
Yeah, boss, thanks. We will get destroyed if we do not ask this question. When Gateway? When RCGs? When Moon? When stacking, sir? Please.
Soon maybe. Honestly, I have no clue.
No clue.
Nope.
Fair enough.
And answering the question in a little bit more detail, in the last few weeks, I didn't really see the dominoes stacking up towards actual release. So I think we might be a way out. So don't hold your breath.
Yeah. I agree on the quant front that it really does seem that we're not going to get gateways within weeks.
But sir, we were expected to get them on the 15th of March. What happened?
Yeah, H1, my dude.
H1 2020. Yeah.
Did you get the answers to the question?
I did.
Yeah. Can you put that on the screen? Let's just address this so we can move on.
Sure. I'll share my screen. Okay, just move this a little bit. For the people who didn't know, Don,
hide your context for a bit, if you want.
Like, oh, now you put emphasis on it.
Yeah, I know.
You can you can still see that.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Okay. So what happened was there was an initiative by the community to get some questions out to the team, and Don, one of the community admins for the DAO, gathered the questions and initiated communications with the team. Questions were there for a couple of weeks, and he got he followed up on those questions last Monday. I think he got a response pretty much the same day, and this is what it read. Got a response from QuantCom's head on our questions. Quote, "Hi Don, thanks again for consolidating outreach from the community and its interest in Quant's roadmap. We are a very small and busy team, laser focused on product development, commercial growth, and market outreach. We are currently working on relaunching our website in the coming months with in-depth new content and information for developers. This should help answer many of the questions posed. Unfortunately, though, we are unable to provide further details or specific answers at this time. Also, please continue to monitor our social media for news about Quant. We are posting there frequently and have a lot of upcoming pertinent information to share. Again, thanks for reaching out and take care." My initial response was meh. Felt like a little bit of an autoresponder even. What was your first impression, Tim?
My first impression was, what did we expect as a community? That
was your expectation before you sent it, and this was confirmation.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my expectation.
Yeah.
On the other hand, someone from the team, I'm not sure how that communication went, promised that they would get back to us, so that felt new. I mean, the fact that someone replied could be quite unusual. I mean, I'm here since the time that actually Gilbert and the team kind of took a backseat in relation to communicating with the community. I mean, before, I remember you talking, about chatting on Saturday night with Gilbert, asking what's his dog is called. I think that was the question you asked him.
I actually asked Gilbert if he had a dog. It was amazing.
Yeah.
He was in such good spirits then. It was so fun.
Those were different times. I entered a bit later, as people might know. So I always experienced a team that was kind of taking a back seat. So yeah, what do we expect?
Well,
if you put when gateways in a very fancy fashion, and that is what happened.
it were
On
like
the other hand, they
it were 9 questions, and there were about 3 open questions, 6 closed questions, which was a little bit of a shame, and they were technically all kind of when gateway, when roadmap ish.
Yeah, and I mean,
or what is your relation with Coinbase, which is also
So yeah, what do we realistically expect? I think putting the pressure on a team, communication-wise, is a good thing. I think the team owes us something in that regard because they've made multiple promises. And sure, I understand why they didn't deliver, but they could have been a bit more open about it. On the other hand, it is promising, this response, because they say a lot of stuff is coming up, and in the message itself is a part about the website, which I found interesting. So they are apparently going to renew their website. And the last time we got a rebrand from the team back in January 2021, end of January, a lot of new stuff came with that. All the promises about H1, that meme came forward from it, which is amazing. But they did come up with a lot of stuff. So we might actually see a similar movement now, but it's pure speculation.
Boss, what were your thoughts when you first saw this?
I'm pretty much mostly with Tim. I've been beating this drum in the Dutch podcast. We're not the audience for Quant. Where I differ with Tim, I don't think they actually owe us anything. I do agree that they made some remarks that we could take as a signal that they might give us some engagement, but in a general sense, they don't owe us anything. We're not the audience for Quant. Enterprises, institutions, central banks, stuff like that, or institutions like that are the audience for Quant. So honestly, I always felt, and I think I mentioned it to you guys, like I'm not sure if we're actually going to get a response to this list of questions, and I wasn't surprised at all when I saw the response. Obviously, there is some tea leaf reading, or how you call it, criminology, that you look between the lines and you try and take more from a message. And honestly, that stuff is all pretty interesting, right? New website, new information, but all information will still be geared towards institutions, enterprises, developers, and we as an investment community or the investment community can take from it what they want. But I don't think it will be investment focused or facing information that we will get.
Yeah. Well, I am the resident moon boy and eternal optimist, and like I said, I was disappointed in the beginning. The first time when I read it, I was like, this feels like a little bit of an autoresponder. So then I vented in some private groups, and then I reread it a couple of times, and now I'm super bullish because that's how my brain works. And no, I mean, we had nothing.
What kind of degenerate move is that? Oh, first I was disappointed, and then
no. But it is so easy and so simple to always just be disappointed and fuck the team, and they've disconnected, and there were some other very, very nice one-liners going around. And I think it's bullshit. I think it's amazing that they just shared with us that they are working on a new website that they intend to release within a few months. Also, because we are literally waiting for gateways since H1 last year. We got a bunch of amazing updates that have been pushed bi-weekly like clockwork for the last month. And if you take all the tiers, let's say they implement all the tiers and they take 2 weeks for each, and by the end of H1, and as we all know, H1 lasts until 31st of July or something like that. Now, but that would be a couple of months. And I always speculated that whenever gateways go live, even Gilbert said that, it will all go live in one go, meaning the dashboard, the gateways, and all that shit. And since it's Gilbert's baby, the hyper decentralized supercomputer that interoperates everything, might very well be a Big Bang event, and that why not let that coincide with a website update and a possible rebrand and whatnot. So maybe indeed Overledger 3.0 will be with the community gateways live and will be initiated by a live going of a new website with a whole bunch of information and other stuff and whatnot.
Yeah,
Bring on the marching band, dude.
Yeah.
I can see it happening in my head already. Maybe even a Quant X. I don't know. I haven't heard anything. This is pure speculation. I'm just putting this from my ass. Maybe there's no COVID anymore. Maybe we get a Quant X this year. Who knows?
Yeah. Sounds lovely. No, but yeah.
It wasn't even sarcasm. I actually feel that this is not in the realm of impossibilities.
But if I read the message correctly, it also says that in that new website they're going to release, there will be more information for us, right?
Yeah.
So that might be a subtle hint at gateways and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is great. And to get back to Bas, I'm not saying that the team owes us anything. I understand my position. But I do think it's fair to point at the fact that they've made multiple promises and they were not very clear with their communications as to communicate where they are at the moment. I understand that there are all difficulties. It's obviously a very bumpy road in terms of COVID, in terms of Brexit and other stuff.
Bumpy?
Also completely bumpy, yeah. So yeah, there are some difficulties there, and I fully understand that. But they could have been a bit more open about it. Now it really felt like Gilbert was scolding us at some points. Well, all we really did was just anticipating their own release schedule, their own promises. I still remember Gilbert in the LCX interview back in May, where he said a couple of things. Well, we still haven't seen that. I still remember Gilbert saying somewhere back in April or March last year that in a couple of weeks we would get a team AMA, a video with the team, and all that stuff didn't happen. I think it's fair to point that out. In terms of communications with the community, they need to do a better job. Or on the other hand, don't make those promises. If you don't promise something, you don't have to deliver. Does it make any sense? Like I don't expect anything if they don't tell us.
I don't think I really disagree with you, right? But I also think that the efforts they did make in the past or in the past few months were there. We saw the King's College course. We saw Luke engage in dev. We saw more stuff like that. And I'm fully on board, right? I think that there were promises made or hints given that didn't get all the follow through. But they also did some things that were missed by most people because they're spending their time in gift groups and asking when Lambo. That's honestly the least interesting part of the community for Quant as a company right now, right? So
obviously, yeah, sure. Yeah.
So while I didn't get as excited as Jarno just did, I did take it as a bullish response because they're focusing on the stuff that matters and that will make the, let's call it, investor group of Quant money in the long run.
Yeah,
definitely. But there's no point in engaging in a way that gives information that can get them in trouble because they're trying to be as regulated as possible. So you cannot give, let's call it, financial advice to have a broad term, right? So you need to get Quant now because wait, man, in 3 months, we'll be live.
The Hutchinson way.
Yeah, that is just never going to happen, or I don't see that happening, honestly. We'll need to be a little bit more smart and need to get the signals in a different way, right? So, and I think there were some interesting signals in that regard. The new website, the King's College course, the addition of getting intermediate and advanced courses in the future, stuff like that. That really gives me a warm and fuzzy feeling inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely do. Yeah, I agree. It's not to don't disagree remark. I agree. I think that all those developments are. I mean, I also see in the when Lambo, when Moon groups, that the vast majority of people understand that that is the course we have to take, and when you keep on digging and you scratch beyond the paint of the Lambo, then people also agree that they're happy that the way Quant manages stuff. It's just really difficult psychologically to separate the two things for many people in the first instance. And if in the end everybody is bullish and happy that Gilbert isn't pumping his bags on Twitter with some bullshit partnership announcement or some crazy ass, oh my god, what was that thing that happened with who announced a Visa card or a MasterCard deal, and then oh, we got a partnership with Visa, and it was just a credit card or something stupid like that.
WTK or something, What's Pay or something like that. I remember.
Yes.
Oh, WTK, and it was with the Chinese company like WePay, I guess.
Something like that.
I didn't follow it. It seemed like an obvious shitcoin to me, so I don't care.
Imagine Gilbert doing that. It's hilarious. But no, man, it's great. They're focusing on the right stuff, and there's a new meme of let's call it an infographic going on in the. Let me share this, and then we're going to get to the meat and potatoes of the show.
Sure.
There's a new image. Let me quickly scroll. Somebody created. What was that? B Dick? No. Damn. There was a new command created to open up that image. Somebody created it. It has all the partners in it. And here it is. Hold on. Let me anonymize my contacts.
Don't make the mistake I just made.
Okay. Let's see. This can be good. Okay. So you can see this image here, right? Quant in the top. Tim, verify.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quant in the top.
What we have here is the man we're going to talk about a little bit later. He's our new CMO. Yay! Andrew Carrier. This is obviously Gilbert, Dietrich, Smith, Mr. Riley, and I always forget his name.
Martin
Hargreaves.
Hargreaves, thanks. And this is Lara Verdian, the wife. Dream team, obviously. And what you see here is a bunch of partners, known leads, or other affiliates of Quant. And as you can see, this is a pretty proper list. We get more than often people in the group. What has Quant achieved lately? And are there even real partnerships? Well, here you fucking go. Reaching from Swift, Vocalink. Yes, this is Deloitte, Gov UK, Rockefeller Capital, Comcast, King's College London, AOL, Morgan Stanley. This is Project Helvetia, isn't that from the Swiss government?
Isn't it just the Bank of England?
Is it the Bank of England? Oh, that can also be too.
Pretty convinced it's the Bank of England.
Pfizer, MIT, this logo, I don't know. Do you know that?
It's Deutsche.
Deutsche
Bank.
JP Morgan, Digital Pound.
Yeah.
I say.
I'm not sure. I'll Google that for you.
Yeah. And NSW, I forgot.
It's North South.
Oh yeah, North South Wales. That's the the Australian thing. Australian lead. New South Wales.
New South.
Oh, we had the same discussion 2 episodes ago.
Yeah. I
well,
say, one moment. It's a Japanese pharmaceutical company with its headquarters in Tokyo. It employs around 10,000 employees, of which around 1,500 in research. And it's noted on the Tokyo Stock Exchange
nice,
and the Nikkei.
cool. Harvard, MapQuest, RPL Digital.
I'm not sure about that one. I'll Google it for you.
This logo, is this Ripple? It's an X-ish?
No, it's LCX.
Ah, yeah, LCX. And this is then the ALBT or Ethereum?
That's what's it?
ALBT then.
LBT, I guess. Yeah.
Unizen? This one?
One thing at a time. Sorry. RPL Digital. I'll Google that. You go
Lac-
way too quick.
LACchain, Federal Reserve, Oracle, KPMG, SIA.
I'm not sure what RPL Digital is actually. It apparently is some English music company
Okay, interesting.
based, specialized in bounce and hard dance. Not sure about that one actually.
That's an Easter egg by the one who created the graph.
Yeah.
This logo, boss, do you notice?
I recognize it.
Yeah, I do.
I think it's one of the identity token or blockchain ones.
Oh, DAG.
It might be Constellation. Yeah, maybe
Constellation.
Constellation. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we got the BIS, SDX, BSI, ISO.
You go way too quick. The Bank of International Settlements, SDX, the
Yeah.
Swiss Digital Assets Exchange. BSI, what's that?
Yeah. Good.
Oh, we talked about this before. It's the British Standards.
Yes, Institute.
Yeah.
That's the same as ISO. And I need to still rectify something. I'll get there in a bit. FINMA.
The
This
financial
is
regulator.
Yeah. INADBA, Blockchain Standard Committee. MOBI, we spoke about JBI.
Not sure.
Well,
You
Tim
go
is
so
good.
quick through it. I don't have any time to Google JBI. Let me see. Is it the same logo? JBI?
But this definitely isn't something that Quant made, right? This is a new, you call it a meme or infograph.
Yeah, it's an infograph made by a community member. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we use this in the Quamfy Lounge for whenever people want information. We have a bunch of those shortcuts. If you type in .cv, you get Gilbert's resume, or CV, it's curriculum vitae.
It's a global organization promoting and supporting evidence-based decisions that improve health and health service delivery.
Evidence-based practice is a big thing in healthcare.
Yeah.
Last 10 years, I think so. Google.
Yeah. Regarding the ISO thing, last episode, we were talking about ISO TC 307, and we wrongfully stated that that in itself is a standard. It is not. Born Quamfy notified us of that. The TC is obviously a technical committee which Gilbert helped found, and they have multiple ISOs that have been issued from their committee. So they are actually multiple people putting their heads together and actually creating the standards. But the entire committee is called TC Technical Commission 307. So it's not the standard itself. Sorry. Rectified.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah. So there was that little side step. Anybody, anything else to say on that, or shall we move on to the Digital Pound Foundation?
Move on to the Digital Pound Foundation.
Okay, here we go. So last week, yeah, March 31st, depending on which time zone you probably were, the Gilbert, or at least Digital Pound Foundation, sorry, published a new article on cybersecurity and risk considerations for CBDCs. This would have been in our last week's episode, but it crossed the recording bit. We recorded the day before it's being published, etc. Hence, it wasn't there. We almost forgot, but we didn't, so it's here. What do we do? Do we read through the thing? It's not ginormous, Tim. What do you think?
No, well, we could read the first and the last part, so like the introduction and the conclusion. I mean,
okay,
it seems pretty substantial, or is it?
It's
This could be pretty substantial. I think if we discuss this in full, we'll be talking for another 30 minutes on just one thing.
okay. Let's go with the first bit and we'll take it from there.
Sure.
So it's authored by Gilbert Verdian, founder and CEO of Quant and Digital Pound Foundation board director. Governments and central banks around the world are exploring the benefits that a central bank digital currency can bring to their economies. Not only must they deliver the policy benefits envisaged, including driving digital innovation, growth, and increasing financial inclusion, a digital currency must tackle evolving cybersecurity threats. In this article, Gilbert Verdian, founder and CEO of Quant, looks at what the global regulators expect from this critical national infrastructure and what needs to be done to convince businesses and consumers to embrace a CBDC such as the digital pound. This is the introduction to the piece. Really interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
It's I mean, CBDCs are they're going to be a reality. It's not going to take that long. 5 years, 10 years. Regulatory stuff needs to be up to par first, right, Tim?
Yeah.
I mean,
agreed.
The tech is technically there in a way. But
yeah, the tech is definitely here. Otherwise, those companies wouldn't be pushing for this technology. They wouldn't do it if you don't have the technology to do it.
Yeah, but what you need to do is you need to get like all the ducks in a row, because it is cross-border and cross-jurisdiction, and now it takes a ton of autographs and OKs to send money from A to B. And sorry, if this gets implemented, it could be the click of a mouse button, meaning that everything that will happen after that will be sort of automatic or automated. And yeah, obviously that needs to be caught in regulations, all the what ifs, actions on and stuff, and that's going to take a ton of time.
Yeah.
Boss, this is maybe a little bit up your alley.
A little bit. It is super interesting to read, and there are some great points made that you really should take a moment to read for yourself, because it is an interesting article, and it actually, I think it shows that while the tech might be there or almost there, it isn't really battle tested right now yet, right? So in this next step, concurrently with regulations and stuff like that, it needs to be battle tested and battle hardened for what is to come. One of the most interesting points, I think, in the piece is the stuff about the quantum computers that might be so powerful in the future that the current cryptography, the way of randomizing data, stuff like that, will be at a point where not obsolete, at a point where it can be backwards engineered. So then it's insecure again. So you need to have levels, and you need to have a plan for stuff like that, which is interesting, right? So it's both super nice to see terms like interoperability in this piece, because that's a nice quant hook, right? But it's also very good to see that they're not going how do you call it, they're going into it with open eyes, that there are proper security risks.
Yeah.
Which is good because the current system, while slow and crappy in many regards, is quite safe.
Yeah.
And we cannot replace it with something.
It is safe from the outside in. But from the inside out, talking about fraud, corruption and shit, then the system we have right now is faulty, isn't it? And that makes this system a lot more secure.
I'm sure I can agree if I were more familiar with how the system actually works. I'm not a financial tech expert in that regard,
No,
so
okay.
not quite sure.
I'm neither, but you do agree that it is a lot easier to commit fraud, steal, embezzle, etc. when it's human work with human hands on handwritten ledgers or just marginally computerized ledgers, compared to when you put stuff on DLT, blockchain, or any other form of a digitized network that is decentralized.
Yeah, I think I agree, but the attack surface is way larger when everything is digitalized. So that's something to consider.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I want to grab this paragraph for a bit. Given the declining use of cash and more than 10,000 cryptocurrencies and stablecoins in use globally, 80% of the central banks are actively exploring the case for central bank issued digital currencies called CBDCs. In April 2021, the Bank of England and Her Majesty's Treasury announced the joint creation of a task force to coordinate the exploration of a digital pound. There are links in this graph. There are multiple links in this article. I'll link this in the description. Whatever platform you're on, there are many podcast platforms, all of them, all the big ones at least, and on YouTube. Scroll to the description. You should find this article and you should be able to open it and then use the links as deep as you want to rabbit hole. Crucial part of the global discussion is operational resilience, including cybersecurity. Then they talk about the World Economic Forum, seeing it as a key cybersecurity threat. Theft and loss, they're talking about a lot of different things. Let's see. Yeah, Gilbert makes makes a case on the landscape. The graph's called distributed ledger technology and threat landscape, and they talk about JPN. This might be interesting. DLTs and blockchain can address cybersecurity threats and build on the trust we already have in our financial systems. Over the past decade, tens of billions in venture capital have poured into blockchain technologies. The market cap for cryptocurrencies reached $3 trillion USD in 2021. In that same year, JP Morgan, US largest bank, established its Onyx blockchain division, conducting USD 1 billion in transactions per day using programmable money. So I found this interesting when I read this the first time, because this actually this also has a source in it, so a clickable link. You can find the article, open the article, and you can get there. So this is not just Gilbert's opinion, but this means that JPM and that obviously means all the other big banks are engaged in blockchain and they are interested in this. So they are operating in the space, and I think that's super bullish. I see Tim nodding.
Yeah, definitely. We see increasing adoption from banks and financial companies. So I can only nod, and I think we will see a lot of coins being issued from them. Those are retail CBDCs, if I'm correct, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, those are the synthetic CBDCs.
Yeah, if they use JPM coin, it'll be a synthetic CBDC. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the synthetic CBDCs.
Yeah, and that
Continue
will be
your
a
story.
form.
No.
No, but and that will be a form of wholesale CBDC because it's interbank stuff.
Yeah.
One of the reasons blockchain technology is immutable and cryptographically secure. This is what Bas spoke about earlier with the quantum computer. We're getting there in a bit. But the immutability is really interesting. And that was my argument on the fraud bit. You cannot simply go on a blockchain and just change the ledgers, change the numbers to your liking or to your agenda. So that was one of my arguments why it's not implemented yet, because it's really hard to embezzle money if you have an immutable ledger. It's really difficult to commit fraud where you have to change all the ledgers that the data is on. It's impossible. That's why it's called immutable. So that's a real big benefit. That would actually make the whole system a lot more honest and secure, in my opinion, at least. Gilbert continues, we see an increasing number of use cases worldwide with acute uptake in the financial sector, and CBDCs are well placed to utilize this technology. We can skip through this. Breakthroughs in DLTs related to key management and putting data on chain are inspiring different approaches. These may lead to new capabilities that could be shared and deployed by participants in the future, such as the ability for all participants to utilize a secure and immutable digital version of identity, a solution where a user can control and revoke access rights to personal data in accordance with GDPR, technology configurations that enable interoperability and replacement when better technology emerges. I thought it was a different bit. So now this is a little bit of loose sand. I'm sorry about this. I skipped a bit. Could you follow along, Tim, or was it just me that lost the thread?
I asked you to just do the key parts, and you started going through the entire piece.
No, I didn't. I skipped this bit.
Okay, you skipped that part. Okay.
So that's why we lost the thread on that. Okay, disregard the last. Let's see, improving existing delivery. I don't want to miss the bit that Bas talked about. Oh, here, the future threat environment. I think that will be it. As our technologies evolve, new risks will emerge and financial crime will become even more sophisticated. Risk management processes and protocols need to keep step with these. This brings us to another risk already on the radar, quantum computing.
I think quantum computing is one of the things, if I can break into this story, I hear a lot of people talk about quantum computing and what kind of risk it is to crypto. And even some of my friends who don't really know that much about crypto, they say, yeah, but you know what really is going to ruin crypto, your entire crypto fairy tale, quantum computing. It's going to break your entire investment. So really eager to hear what Gilbert has to say about it. Back to you, Jarno.
Yeah.
I also saw that the boss opened his mic. Now he closed it again. He wanted to say something. He didn't. Okay, go back to Jarno.
Yeah. So indeed, the quantum computing, it's also, I agree. There's always somebody that says, yeah, but crypto will become obsolete because quantum computing will crack it all.
Exactly.
Okay. If, as anticipated, it eventually gains the power to compromise major data encryption methodologies and undermine the cryptography used to protect access, confidentiality, and data integrity, quantum computing will impact all financial services. CBDCs are no exception. No one can predict when quantum computers will be capable of cracking today's encryption methods. However, an enormous amount of work is taking place to develop technology robust enough to withstand a quantum attack. Given the importance of data protection by governments and others, we can expect that these existing encryption methodologies will be replaced by quantum-proof encryption in the systems we all rely upon. So Gilbert keeps it a little bit open-ended. He says, yeah, we're getting there. And there's always an arms race going on. I know from my time in the military, somebody makes a new bulletproof vest that can stop a higher caliber bullet, then somebody else creates a bullet with a different core, and that will then penetrate that vest, and you're back to square one again. That cat and mouse game will always be running. I am not how do you say, informed on quantum computing. What I did understand from some article I read or heard is that quantum computers aren't that smart quite yet, that they can only do one thing and they do that really well. But if you throw a little kink in the cable, then they get stuck or something. Boss, do you have any opinion on this matter? If not, we're just moving on.
Opinions probably enough, but knowledge not enough. Honestly, quantum computers, I think you can pretty much think of them as the next step in brute force capabilities when it comes to encryption, cryptography. So we need to also realize that we can actually use that same power to create better encryption protocols. So it's a continuing arms race. It will always continue like that. Hence why interoperability, or not, in Dutch I called it portability, right? We need to move from different systems to different systems. We need to have the option to move between those. Where Quant comes in is facilitating that the possibility of having systems interconnect with each other and also replace key parts of that system with new and improved parts. I cannot tell you how technical implementations might look or will look, but I can spitball and envision stuff like gateways, community gateways or central gateways, having more power to provide security than just an iPhone has, right, in its computer capabilities, or whatever kind of computer. So hopefully stuff like that will be able to improve security for the system as a whole. But it is a super interesting and honestly quite scary thing to read more about, right? But it is good that we're looking into it now and not when we have replaced all our nice financial systems and created a big problem for ourselves.
Yeah.
This is the time to consider this stuff.
Yeah. I'm gonna close this with the last paragraph that Gilbert wrote. It's called "Mindful of the Threat, Embracing the Possibilities." We live in a digital world. There's no turning back now. Central banks see this and are exploring the best and safest way to operate. Although CBDCs offer the potential to deliver significant benefits, they also potentially usher in new ways of working for central banks, financial institutions, and other participants in our monetary ecosystem. They also raise fundamental questions across a range of public policy objectives. In thinking about a digital pound, the UK's CBDC task force is weighing these issues. Security sits at the heart of these discussions and others taking place around the world. A central bank's primary objective is to maintain monetary and financial stability. Any CBDC needs to be designed in a way that supports this. Additionally, it must be accompanied by appropriate, robust operational risk management and cybersecurity policies and procedures. Finally, it needs to replicate the technical resilience, sound governance, and integrity of our existing infrastructure to gain the confidence of the public. And I think this last bit is really important, and that's where you get a lot of the, yeah, let's call them the keyboard warriors on Twitter, with their CBDCs are the biggest crime to humanity. Pompliano, did you read that, boss? Pompe made a tweet like that.
I didn't.
The single most biggest crime against humanity or something like that are CBDCs. He's a Bitcoin maxi, as you know, probably. And I think the confidence of the public, that's going to be so instrumental. And I think the time it takes to get all the regulation and the standards and all those frameworks up to speed is also the time it's going to take to convince us noobs who know nothing that it's all going to be okay. I mean, back in the day when the euro was introduced or conceived, I can remember there was a campaign lasting 2 to 3 years with ever closing or smaller time gaps of spitting information and propaganda material, for lack of a better term, just to get everybody on board with it. And this is definitely going to be needed for the CBDCs, because everybody right now has access to all this information. And if you do not try and control the narrative on this and get ahead of the story, you're going to have the people like Pompliano and other influencers that have an agenda to push Bitcoin, are going to keep running with the CBDCs are going to hurt your privacy, and everything is just going to be worse than it was.
I'm actually sure there's probably a good case to be made, though, that there's proper risks involved with this type of new tech. And
I agree.
I do agree with you, right? That the confidence of, or with Gilbert in this matter, that the confidence of the public needs to be won. But I think when it comes to actual movement on this in this area, it will actually be financial opportunity. So when the systems see that they can be more efficient, quicker, cheaper to run, while being as safe as the options they have now, that will be the big catalyst to actually move over to solutions like this. So honestly, I don't think that there ever will be a referendum or a vote, or
I hope not.
I'm not trying to piss you off, but
no. I hope not. I hope that that's the case.
But I think it will be purely let's call it just a business case to be made at some point.
Yeah.
That this is cheaper, this is better, this is the way forward.
Yeah,
but only when it's cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. But I agree. You know, we need to be cognizant of all the risks and all the security stuff that's going on. But we just need to be careful. Never mind. I'm gonna be a broken record again. I see Tim's eyes rolling. I'm done. So read the whole article. It's in the description. Yeah, that. Close the subject. Move on. Yeah. Okay.
Please.
Yeah. Here we are. This is the Quant Network Twitter feed. And
yeah. Can I take over a bit? Yeah, I skipped your
go ahead.
report as usual.
What's that?
Get tired of the Quant Twitter feed. So basically, we've seen a lot of activity with Quant on Twitter, and I think we didn't really address this so far, at least not in English, and also not really in Dutch. In the Dutch episode, we spent about 4 minutes on it at the very last part of the episode. And we just figured that there has been a lot of activity and we cannot really ignore it any longer. So we will just be going through the tweets and give you some vision of ours on it, see what we think, and we can kind of structure the information a little bit, because they've really been going on to a tweet storm. So Jarno, back to you.
I thought let's begin on March 31st again. This is the article we just went through. That's interesting. Let's open it up. Let's sorry, Tim. Now, No, I'm joking. What's the same article?
Oh, no, please, God, no.
Tim is so tired of CBDCs. I can understand, man. It's yeah. Quant is hiring, and
Can I say one thing about it? Like,
definitely.
I get tired about it, but I think that in the future, when we look back at this in 5 or 6 years, it will be really interesting to see that we have been covering something that the mainstream public didn't know about. That will be very fascinating, I think. Okay, back to Twitter.
Yeah.
Tim, in 5 years, if you hear this, really curious if I was correct.
Yeah.
Do you think people will actually care how the backend system will work?
No.
I agree.
No. It's one main examples. Would you like to be part, the tweet reads, of building #the future of finance today? We are hiring for roles based in London, Los Angeles, and fully remote. If you're an experienced Java engineer or an Ethereum/blockchain developer, we would love to hear from you. There's an article related to this. Just open the Quant Twitter thread. Start on April 1st, work your way up. I'll put it in the description. But it's interesting. They're hiring again, and I do not have the factual numbers of how many vacancies they have right now. But there were 12 last week, Tim. They said that?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Check it out. We'll link it on LinkedIn. There's more. Continue. No, that's the article again.
Yeah.
Scroll up. Oh yeah, we had the talk. I'm not sure. Is it at UK FinTech Week?
IFGS.
Or is this something else?
IFGS. Just 2 days left until our panel session. Payments. What else can we expect at IFGS 2022? Looking forward to hearing Giverdian, Jane Loginova of Radar Payments, Cat Cloud of Played, Papier of Trust, and Jack Wilson of TrueLayer. You can register for that talk here. And I opened this #IFGS 2022, and that's the thing there were last week. Is that what you meant, Tim?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, that's a really nice selfie from Andrew there.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. But there was literally a tweet storm going on because this is all from April 4th still. I thought I had this more lined up. We'll get to that in a bit because it's also here. So IFGS, a lot of talks, a lot of panel discussions. Haven't been following along. I haven't. Okay, the dog just threw up on his mat. Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, it's always fun. Something to do when we're done here. So many different topics they spoke about. This one is about lessons learned and aspirations for the future, fostering through disruption. Andrew tweeted this, writing, spending the next couple of days at IFGS 2022. We'll be sharing highlights here and on at Quant Network. Tim.
Yeah.
You want me to read up every single tweet?
Not really, but we can cover the essence. I think Martin Hargreaves was talking there. I think we can just skip to the talk of Martin and let's see if we can get some juice.
Jessica Russo did speak there, a keynote speaker on she's part of the FCA, the Financial Conduct Authority.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So there were a lot of people there. There's a quote here which reads, "Our vision is to be even more innovative, led by data and technology, and even more assertive and adaptive to support the #FinTech community," says Jessica Russo, Chief Data, Information and Intelligence Officer at the FCA. So this is also good. This IFGS, this is one of the takeaways that I had from what I read. they're very much cheering on the public sector and the business sector to innovate and to create and to take risks. I don't know if that's the right word, but to keep doing what they're doing. And other example, the amount of fraud and cybersecurity issues is underreported, says Alice. The more you can protect the customer, the better. This is obviously also what's on top of mind for people regarding the CBDC question, the privacy, the security, what happens with my data, is everything safe? Another quote.
It's not only CBDCs, right?
No.
It will provide so much more use cases other than just CBDCs.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
when you look at the quote and it's underreported, I really think the same goes for financial malfeasance and crimes currently in the current system.
Mhm.
But things like digital identity that you can check, let's call it on-chain. For now, we're talking about this type of term, right? On-chain. But in the future, you will have a system that most people trust, or hopefully all people trust. And then you get a support email from Microsoft. But before you have your one-on-one connection with the support tech of Microsoft, you can check the identity of the connection you're making in that system on chain, right? So that will provide safeguards for security. I actually read it like that. It should, the stuff they're building and providing tech-wise will provide more safeguards and security measures in the future for people and institutions.
Yeah, interesting. So a little bit more than just the padlock in your browser bar, you mean?
Yeah, that's an well, HTTPS is important, but when you look at the scams going on, right? Not only in crypto, but in the financial world, it's mostly about people misrepresenting themselves as a support agent for whatever company, from your bank or from Microsoft or from whatever, Apple, and creating a tech service for themselves to scam people, right? When more parts of the systems are be able to securely be identified, it reduces the risks of people misreading who they are talking to or what they are doing. I hope.
Yeah. Yeah, still letting that sink in. Yeah, there's indeed so much going on.
It's easy when you're really into the CBDC type of discussion right now, right? To see everything just touching CBDCs. So I just wanted to provide not a different view, but take it a little bit broader, right? Like our Moby discussion in Dutch. It was actually quite nice to have it not be about CBDCs, right? I'm sure Tim can agree, but stuff like this is also more broad than just the real big implementations, right? The low-hanging fruit, the first implementations that we'll see are easier implementations, like a payment system just for, let's call it Amazon, that provides you different type of token usage for payment, stuff like that. That will definitely be first, not CBDCs.
I was, by the way, pleasantly surprised. I was looking up if it was possible for me to digitize my passport and my driver's license already. And we, all three of us, you can probably hear from our accents, we live in the Netherlands. And
what do you mean? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, no.
Please forgive me.
There's already a trial and a project going on since 2016 for getting digital identities up and running, and there's even been a trial already with people having all their credentials in an app from the App Store on their phones, so you don't have to carry your passport with you or your driver's license. And that was also linked to SSI, and they're also working with that. So the Netherlands is actually already working on that since 2016. I didn't even know. I think
I'm not fully up to speed on the subject matter, but I think there's even areas, or how you call it, countries, where they actually already have this stuff. And I think in the latest iOS release, for some of the regions, this support was actually added to one of the biggest mobile phone platforms, where people can actually carry a digital identification card.
Nice.
Not per se blockchain based, right? But
to add to that, I'm reading here on a core website that the British government is intending to digitize all the driver's licenses starting from 2024. So in the UK, they're also up to speed. In 2 years' time, you'll be having a digital driver's license there if you want to.
I mean, why not? Why not? I mean, if we can have our crypto wallets digitally on our phones,
I think everything will go digital at some point.
Yeah.
You'll have SSI, a self-sovereign identity, and everything will be on there.
I started the chat
I
with
agree.
my bank why I cannot get money from an ATM with my phone. If I can pay in the store, why can't I just withdraw money?
Yeah.
Because you have it all locked in Quant.
That's true. That's true. Smart. Yeah. Let's see. I've been scrolling up a bit. There are so many tweets, people.
Yeah, it's a tweet storm. But what did Martin say?
Yeah.
What's the juice?
Wasn't Gilbert supposed to speak here?
No, Martin was there for sure.
Yeah, Martin was there for sure. But I thought Gilbert was supposed to be speaking there, because that was announced a couple of.
He's probably attending another meeting.
Possibly. Here's Martin. You can't get customer traction in payments without privacy, says at Tech MJH.
Wait a second. Wait.
Yeah.
Privacy? It wasn't some kind of evil token that was going to structure privacy. What are we talking about?
Bankster coin, man.
It's the Bankster coin, right? Yeah, it's an Armenian scam.
Behind the scenes at IFGS 2022, the FinTech Times interviewed Tech MJH after the payments panel.
Yeah, after the payments panel spoke on about his vision of the future, there's a typo there. And it says that a video is coming in a few days, so we'll be able to see the video next week, I hope.
I even missed. I was like, who's this tech dude?
Yeah,
but that's fucking Martin Hargreaves. I'm so sorry. I'm terrible tonight.
It's fine.
So Martin was on stage, and the picture that is posted next to it says payments. What else can we expect? Speakers: Martin Hargreaves, Jack Wilson, Ronan Gallagher, and Jane Leginova. I'm sorry if I misread that. I don't know what he actually spoke about. It was just.
I think the video is coming.
Not the video yet.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see that. So I think it's smart that they put all that stuff.
Scroll up. What's more in this?
Slow going, people.
There's just a lot of tweets to summarize about this event. They covered the new.
They were bullish. They were like 7 tweets in a row every time.
Yeah. Other thing, Overledger 2.2.3. Actually, we got that last week already. And for some reason, the Quant main account didn't tweet about it. The Quant developer account did, but they just forgot to link the documents with the release notes. But hey, there's another typo in that tweet. Nice. But they did it now, and it reads release of Overledger 2.23 unlocks access to Polygon mainnet, increases API support for Polygon Mumbai testnet, and provides new APIs for TAR2 QRC20 smart contract functions. I think that's all you need to know. We have access to the Polygon mainnet. Let's not spend too much time discussing, unless Bas wants to, because we have more tech-savvy guests now. Can you say something about it, Bas? Because I'm rushing over it. I'm butchering it.
Not really without a lot of context, but honestly, just take it as things are moving, and there are a lot of tweets, but harking back to the point when we started the podcast, this is actually community outreach, right? This is what they meant with we will be more forthcoming with information and engagement, and this is the way they're implementing that. It's not that they
weekly AMAs, dude.
Yeah, well, I'm not being an apologist for Quant, right? Because I have a lot of things. Not on a more negative, but I can see more negative points as well. But this is actually what they are doing, how they're choosing to engage and share information, and it's they're not beholden to Telegram or the platform of our choosing, right? So, well, they picked Twitter, and they shared a lot of information, and they are engaging in a sense that they're showing that they're engaging at it's been so long that I needed to talk in English, man. I need to get into it still.
It's fine. It's fine.
An event like the one they tweeted about, right? That's a proper group of people talking on a level about stuff that counts as engagement from Quant to their public, their community, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. It's just not what everybody wanted.
Not what
it never is.
wanted.
What can you realistically expect? I
What do you
think
mean,
they're just
me?
holding.
Yeah, Jarno, you personally.
What?
No. But I see a big discrepancy between what we think, or not how important we think we are, or we, the community, right? And how little we actually are relevant to their business case at this time.
Yeah.
We might be way more important in the future, but this is engagement. This is the stuff that they promised. There is a lot more activity on Twitter. There is more activity on channels.
Articles being
articles written. For sure.
And let's be honest, you can have Twitter activity like a proper DeChain crypto project where you promise all kinds of stuff and still don't deliver, but you promise it. I prefer a project that doesn't literally promise stuff. I rather have this. Anyways, so we have the new. Oh,
I have a last tweet of Quant on what Martin said. It reads: Quant's CPO says blockchain-based payments offer developing and emerging markets the potential to leapfrog traditional payments architecture and set the pace for the G7 economies to follow. There's a lot here, and I read this leapfrog thing before, but I can't remember what the context was. Because this is what they're actually saying is that, like, the smaller countries, say South America, Latin America, we call them smaller countries, they're bigger than the Netherlands, not economy-wise, obviously, but they are implementing these systems, so they're technically testing them. Is that a little bit what you meant with the battle tested, battle hardening of this type of systems, Bas?
Maybe, but if you're one of the big 7 economies, then a lot of your labor and stuff like is within your own economy. But if you're one of the smaller fish in the pond, then you'll see a lot of movement between regions. So people from Poland working in Netherlands is a pretty big example. But when it comes to sending money around, then you get into situations where you have remittance fees, right? How can I get money from Holland into a different country, and do I need to pay a fee? I think in the emerging markets, you'll see more flexibility in labor movement and sending money around, which provides a greater incentive to have faster moving tech and opportunities for them to actually move their economy and their value around. So not only money, but also knowledge. But I think that is probably what is being pointed towards. There's a greater incentive there to move forward than there is within our big economies, where mostly we work close to home.
Very
Sure.
interesting. By the way, your connection is not all that great. You're sometimes a little bit roboty, a little breaking up. Are you accidentally maybe using Apple as your system? No. I'm Apple bashing again.
Okay, next topic. Next topic.
No, but the connection isn't always that great right now, boss. You were still audible and understandable.
Apologies.
No need to apologize. I just wanted to let you know that. I don't know if you were aware. Yeah. So
okay, enough about the G7. Sorry to interrupt you there, unless it's really important. I think we have something. Oh, Andrew Carrier, sure.
Yeah,
Continue.
he's our new CMO. Oh my God. He was actually appointed to be our new Chief Marketing Officer back in December, something like that.
Yep, December.
And then for some reason, all his announcements were taken down. And now he was reappointed or re-announced.
Yeah, not really. I think perhaps there was kind of a proof period. Is that the correct term in English? Like a proof period where
trial
period.
Yeah.
A proof period.
Yeah.
No, like a trial period. I think. At least there was this publication on the website of Quant a couple of days ago, where it was confirmed that he is appointed the Chief Marketing Officer.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're now scrolling through Quant itself, but I think you really want to show the people. Oh,
I am. I'm looking to the appointment
announcement. Yeah.
But anywho, Andrew is our new CMO. Andrew has worked at. I could have brought this up at Swift. He has been working at, what was that other company?
Deutsche.
Come again?
Deutsche Bank.
Oh yeah. Here we are.
Has a very impressive track record, as you'll see. Just scroll down a bit.
Yeah, so he's now the CMO full-time at Quant, started December 2021. So he's been there for 5 months. If we go down, 14 experiences.
Let's start at the bottom. Where did he start?
JP Morgan, 1998. He was reconciliations there, working in the investment management division, responsible for daily reconciliation of multi-currency custody accounts. Might as well been Spanish or Italian for me. Investment management. Yeah. Then new sales executive in Open Trade Technologies, head of marketing at Heliograph.
Sounds like .com bubble companies to me. We'll see. Then he moved to Swift, which is really impressive. He moved her. Can you scroll down a bit?
Yes.
Around 2003, 2004. Apparently worked in Brussels. And yeah, he started his career there, worked in the marketing department, all the way up to the head of the global public relations department in event communications, which is impressive. Swift has been on the news, you know it, from Russia, probably. We also discussed the role of Swift regarding to the Russian sanctions a couple of podcasts ago. You can listen to that. Then 2012, he moved to Cognito. No idea what kind of company that is. Oh, wait, it stands there. Cognito Analytics is the software arm of Cognito, a specialist communications firm serving the financial sector. Communications, financial sector, nice. You scroll up.
And the role of deputy managing director.
Yep.
Then he was the
Nice, also
director
doing-
at Prodigal Communications. We published the web's most irrelevant and self-deprecating luxury
lifestyle magazine, the Prodigal Guides.
Okay.
Fair enough. Scroll.
Worked there for 4 years.
Deutsche
Director
Bank.
head, director head of marketing for security services. Then CMO at Dolphin, independent wealth management firm. And he was the founder at What's Next Partners, and then to the CMO position at Quant.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the description in case you want to become friends with him.
Really impressive stuff. Andrew is the chief marketing officer now, and he has kind of a remarkable Twitter feed, which we wanted to discuss a little bit. At least Jarno, at least Bas did, and then Jarno. Yeah. I remember something. Oh.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yeah.
We Tim and I discussed this earlier on. I can't remember who that was, but other people were also using. Okay, people work at Quant. They began to work at Quant, and before that, they had their private Twitter feed, and that is still, in my opinion, their private Twitter feed. And
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. It's your private feed, right? You can do whatever you want.
And then you get the criticism or the questions from people following your feed, or from the new company you work at. From, okay, where lies where's the line that cannot be crossed? When does your own agenda? Oh man, my English is gone. I'm tired.
When does your own agenda override your company's interests? Yeah. Right?
Exactly. When do they collide? That's the question.
Yeah. When do they collide? Yeah.
And there are some things Andrew retweets, likes, from which you can say, this is the example Bas came up with. Because Zuckerberg gives not a single fuck about his users. He doesn't even respect them enough to think they might notice stuff like that. And that was the response to, I know product is hard, but why does Instagram Discover show posts you already marked not interested from accounts you have blocked?
As someone who uses Instagram, it indeed is really annoying. They introduced a new timeline, I think somewhere last year, somewhere in the summer, I think. And it is really annoying. I follow accounts for the reason that I want to follow them. But I don't follow them in order to get an algorithm that decides for me what I want to follow or not.
Here's a kicker. It's called a feed for a reason. Because they're force feeding you all the shit they want you to see, not what you want to see. Yeah, but then
the interesting thing on the Instagram is that you have like your own personal feed and like a general discover feed, as they call it. And in that discover feed, the algorithm does its work. But now Instagram has decided that in your own personalized feed from the accounts you want to follow, there's now also stuff you might be interested in based on your search history. And that is really annoying.
Yeah. Okay. So, but besides the Instagram headaches, Meta is obviously Facebook 2.0. Zuckerberg is obviously the CEO of the company, and yeah, they could potentially become customers of Quant. Maybe they are. Andrew Carrier is chief marketing officer at Quant, and yeah, saying Zuckerberg doesn't give a single fuck about his users, it might be considered not ideal to write something out. But on the other hand, it's a personal account. He working at Quant, you can still provide a service. You can still be partners, in my opinion, because it's you deliver a product and you're not writing their company policy. And I don't know.
No, and why would it be negative? You can rightly criticize another company for doing something, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't imply that the entire Quant meta partnership has gone to dust just because of one tweet. That's not how it works. I think we are looking. Actually, that was my task. How does a Quant meta partnership look like? Yeah, take the lead. I'll be searching that with whatever you want to share. I'll search it in the background.
What? Okay, I'm sorry.
Just continue. I'll get back to you in a bit.
Okay.
I'll report on what Quant Metaship partnership. If there are any leads, I'll go through the console.
Okay, that's cool. There are.
Yeah.
Boss. Give me your 2 cents, bro.
Well, I changed my connection, so hopefully you can actually hear me now.
Yeah.
So I actually don't have the answers, right? So I don't know when you cross the line. No, but I do think there is a point to be made that if you're in a C-level position, the position that actually touches on communication and marketing, that the line might be of the bar might be a little set a little bit higher for you than like a random developer or someone working at a reception or wherever in your company with a personal Twitter feed and the one that is responsible for communication and marketing. Still, considering having said that, I still don't think this crosses a line. But also, it is in such clear terms that there's no single fuck given. He doesn't even respect them enough to think they might notice stuff like that. Honestly, isn't all that great in my...
It's not classy.
And honestly, I don't think Zuckerberg cares.
No, of course not.
But if we're going to...
There's this meme from Zuck. You what, mate?
but I actually mentioned this in passing and you guys made it a topic. I do think it's interesting to note, right?
Yeah.
And he is quite prolific on Twitter. And it is actually pretty fun to see the man behind the position. So that is fun. And when you open back up your LinkedIn tab and you scroll down to, let's first go back to Swift. Let's not discount the connections you make in a position like that, right? All the banks involved, the tech around those banks involved, super valuable, super important, a great addition to the team for Quant. But also the self-deprecating stuff that you found in the Protocol magazine or something like that. That is actually, I think, more of a pet project of his, publication he ran or he helped run, where they're making fun of luxury products and the brands behind them, and that's probably his personality showing through, right? So it's not. I'm not saying this is a bad thing, right? It's fun to see the man, and it's interesting to see the man behind the position. But it is interesting to note how clear he was in his in the words he used.
Yeah. Eloquent.
I'm not sure if I'll call it eloquent, and I'm not sure if I'm even in a position to use here. Protocol communication. We published the world's most irreverent and self-deprecating luxury lifestyle magazine. Pretty much says it all, right? So we like Rolex watches, but we also like to shit on Rolex watches. It's fun. But that's here.
Okay, what's nerds? Help me.
It's crazy, right? This looks bad.
Why is the name of all things holy and decent? Didn't Rolex put the date where it belongs? As a lefty, I could get excited about this, except with the
Is he
day
American?
Nee.
Oh.
Maar ik vond het... Oké, sorry. Is he American? I don't
Okay.
know.
No, he's British. Can I interrupt you guys?
Okay, watch
I've
nerds,
been
help me. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you guys will be. I've been looking through the console. I can't really find any leads to Facebook. Could be me, but the only thing that I see as a recurring theme is Facebook's synthetic CBDC. Oh, not a CBDC. You know what I mean? Like the Facebook Libra / Deem, whatever they call it, coin. And that needs interoperability at the end of the day. So that is kind of a lead. But furthermore, there's one kind of relationship through crowds and Facebook. We'll have to dig into that.
Yeah, and Gilbert once ran his mouth on something in the main channel on we can interoperate Facebook, Libra, JPM coin, something like that. Which was interesting, but it wasn't like really a smoking gun. To be honest. What are we looking at here? Now we're just randomly.
But maybe getting back to a little bit more serious stuff. It is interesting to see that they're trying to grow the company again, right?
Yeah.
Hiring. It must be so competitive to hire in an environment like this. There are so many projects that are, let's call them shitcoins, but there are also a lot of interesting projects, right? In the whole DLT blockchain space. So it must be super hard to get actual talent into your company, especially when it isn't as public facing with their communications and stuff like, or information about how they're going to change the world, right? We might see the implications on how important they will be in the network of interoperability and providing the basis of a lot of innovation to be done or fostered. But it's actually probably pretty hard for them to find people, especially when you consider they're based in London, which isn't the smallest tech hub in the world, but it's also definitely not the largest. So it's hard to get people into your
they're also in
into
Dublin.
London. In Dublin, and I think they're US based as well.
I think Dublin really is a back office.
I don't know.
And anyways, yeah, well, the labor market is completely overheated. There's a huge supply in all sectors. It's tricky to hire people.
But not in blockchain and not of the caliber that they're looking for.
That is even worse.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that it's an uphill battle for them. So it's actually good to see that they're tweeting about it, but I'm not of a mind that you will find the correct people on Twitter per se. But it's cool that they're growing the team. But I also think we've seen in the last, let's call them the Telegram communications of Gilbert, that it is an uphill battle for them. Not only COVID hit them, but also being able to grow the team, which is cool, right? You don't grow your team if you don't need to grow, but that's why the focus shifted a little bit over the last 18 months, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree. So use the resources that you have and use them for the things that actually matter for your company's mission. And in the right order. So gateways when there are people, banks or other huge companies or even governments waiting in line, that's not the right allocation of resources, I think.
No.
Yeah.
There was something else that we wanted to cover this episode, and that was the Coinbase story.
No,
let's move to Coinbase.
No, we're not. We're doing that next week.
We're doing that next week. Oh.
Yeah, we're doing it next week. Hungarian is going to join us next week.
Oh,
with the Coinbase and
that's so cool. Okay.
and the addresses
Ah.
and how the tokens that are being hoarded by Coinbase can possibly be the treasury, but not the treasury.
Juicy stuff.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it next week. Sorry, my apologies for that.
It's okay. So next week we're going to have another guest, and it's going to be Hungarian Quamfy, Hungarian Horntail, Trito Slot on Twitter.
Yeah.
And
but that's for next week.
Yeah.
We have the questions from Instagram still. I'm trying to
wrap up. I notice.
No, I'm not trying to wrap up. I'm just trying to.
Oh, please do.
Oh, yeah.
I know I'm joking. I'm joking. You go for it. We're all tired already.
Yeah, well, we're just rambling a bit. Let's see. Yeah, there was one question I really want to address, and that is, could QNT become a public company? And we've talked about this before, but I think we can make it a bit of a searchable subject by, I don't know, saying something about it and giving it a timestamp.
I actually looked something up on that because it has been asked a long time ago by somebody. Let me see. Here we go. So what we see here is I have been searching in the Quant community channel. I have been searching for IPO, that stands for initial public offering. It's like an ICO, but then for adults with real companies. And I looked up messages from Gilbert relating to this IPO thing. And then what you get here is, let me see. So I have QNT says, yeah, Pleboscopian Demo Hound. Now
Nice
I
name.
want Quant Network shares. When IPO? Wink. And Gilbert,
this is
sorry.
From the 27th of April 2018. This is ancient.
Yeah, and Gilbert replied with, funny you said that. We're in talks with the right venture capitalists to start that journey to IPO in a couple of years. And he responded back, Pleboscopian Demo Hound, with, I'll start saving. Yeah. When IPO? So
a couple of years.
Yeah, so what happens right now? Quant is a private company. A private company does not have to share financial information, does not have to share partnerships, all that stuff. It has no responsibilities to anybody but their internal workings and maybe some private investors. When it goes IPO, you need to have certain metrics that you, depending on the country, I think, you need to check a fuck ton of boxes. It's not an ICO where you just create some shitcoin and you just dump that on your users to scratch some money together. No, an IPO is a serious business, and you need to be vetted, and you need to have all your ducks in a row and everything in order, etc. But when you go,
get you in a lot of legal trouble if you mess that up.
Yeah, there's the, now let's not go to the examples of that. But when you go IPO, that also comes with a bunch of responsibilities, meaning you're going to have boards of directors, you're going to have investors, you need to have quarterly updates, you need to share finance numbers, etc. Probably depending on how and what. I mean, not everything is super public, but most is. I'm not a financial advisor, so I don't know the exact details of this. But going IPO, for the most people that ask the question, is because they are afraid that the token will disappear. That was at least what happened in the past. I wasn't there in 2018.
Sadly, I wasn't either.
Yeah, but even in 2020, there were still people, but what if the company IPOs? Will then the coin become useless? Will they then ban the coin? Can the coin be banned? And the answer to all of it is no.
In fact, the team won't have any control anymore at the point they're sold out of tokens.
Yes, and
yeah.
Also when the way Overledger is constructed, and obviously we kind of have to trust Gilbert's word for that. Maybe Bas can have some more factual input on that, but Overledger network does not work without the QNT token. The QNT token is a license. It's an access card, key code, coin, whatever you want to call it, and it is indispensable. And it has nothing to do with equity. It has nothing to do with ownership of the company in any way whatsoever. We could own 100% of all the coins, and you will have zero saying on what is going on in the Quant Network, and you will have zero rights to any information whatsoever. Do you get 100% of all the shares? It's a different story. Then you can literally change the course of the company and well, quote unquote, do whatever you want.
Just like Elon got acquired 10% of Twitter shares and now is on the board. You can just steer the company's policies in a way. It's not how it works with us.
Oh, at least the edit button is coming.
Nice.
Yeah, I do agree that there's a big difference. We need to realize if you own shares, you have a different type of stake than if you hold some tokens. The tokens we, or most of us, hopefully hold are the fuel for the system. The system is a product of Quant. Overledger is the product, but Quant is the company creating it. But Quant can create different products next to, or concurrent, or orbiting Overledger. So I don't see why they can't go public, because they're a company creating products. So I actually view them as two totally separate things.
Yeah. So the edit button is coming. It means no covfefe anymore.
No
covfefe? Yeah, no. Never mind. I think Bas got it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. But we will have some kind of influence through the DAO, I think.
If the DAO is able to purchase shares, maybe.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think it might be still a little bit far off, right? But because a couple of years is pretty broad, and let's be honest, Gilbert and Quant never have been super great when it comes to time frames, right?
No,
soon is a pretty broad term. A couple of years is a pretty broad term. So
their
when they eventually will go,
time.
But when they eventually will or might go public, it will also provide an extra level of transparency, because as Jarno mentioned, you need to also publish a lot of your partnerships and your financials and your books, which actually is also probably a nice safeguard in the future to see who is actually having influence running a system that in our view will be quite important in the future, right? Because let's be super bullish again. We all are of a mind that Quant Network, or not Quant, sorry. Let's do this correctly. Overledger will be the glue between all the different products and networks that are being built in the new, not only financial system, but in the new data system, right? The interoperability
Web3
that Overledger provides will be mega important in our estimations and predictions. and it is nice that we can hopefully see in the future that it is not 80% owned by some crazy entity that we as a society don't trust. That, let's say, all the shares are in Russian hands. Is it something that we want to know or don't want to know? I kind of want to know stuff like that. No. Oh, you said duh. But I think we're quite some time off.
Yeah.
It was the same back in that day. They were also still playing with thought of creating their own blockchain, and I think that's it's off the table as well. I mean, why would you build a blockchain that has all the limitations that you're trying to combat with the operating system you created? I mean, we made a case of a couple of videos back that creating our own blockchain could actually be beneficial in a way if you want to provide like a blockchain as a service combined with like a package deal. If somebody just wants everything in one go from you because they trust you, you could actually deliver that. But you might as well just take with a nice little MDApp all the good pieces from all other blockchains.
Probably,
anyway,
but also the off-chain transactions between the gateways within Overledger, I don't think that's a mutually exclusive idea of having a DLT to actually keep track of those transactions. So that's maybe super technical or maybe not, and I'm not fully up to speed because I don't work for Quant. But we'll see what happens, because all this stuff is pretty fluent, right? It's all fluid. Things will change, and different tech solutions will provide opportunities also for Overledger. I'm sure of it. What we're seeing now is so early, right? So even if we're in it for a few years already, it's still super early. It's so hard to keep realizing that we're just at the first super early. Yeah. Well,
in the grand scheme of things, we're only 4 years in since ICO, and sure, the company is here since 2015, so we're in year 7. If we go back to on a larger time frame, if you go back to companies like Microsoft and Apple, I think they were established somewhere halfway the 70s, 78, 77, something like that. So we would be around 1985. If that's a proper comparison. I'm not sure. When was Microsoft established? I would say 87. 78, I mean.
73, I think. Was it
75. 75, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 years
by
off.
the way, talking about, and that's
76.
This is the last can of worms we're going to open tonight. LACchain. Learn how the first quantum computing resistant blockchain network works. Designed to eliminate quantum threats in projects that are already having an impact on inclusion in LAC. World net. Download
the Latin
paper.
American world.
Okay. Download this paper to learn more.
I'll actually read this one because that sounds super interesting to me.
Yes, I haven't read it either.
Oh, it's an actual paper, but we can read the abstract. As in, yeah, that part. Yeah.
Okay, I know where the abstract is. Thank you for patronizing. This paper describes the work carried out by the Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB Lab, LACchain, Cambridge Quantum Computing, and Tecnológico de Monterrey to identify and eliminate quantum threats in blockchain networks. The advent of quantum computing threatens internet protocols and blockchain networks because they utilize non-quantum resistant cryptographic algorithms. When quantum computers become robust enough to run Shor's algorithm on a large scale, the most used asymmetric algorithms utilized for digital signatures and message encryption, such as RSA, ECDSA, and ECDH, will be no longer secure. quantum computers will be able to break them within a short period of time. Similarly, Grover's algorithm concedes a quadratic advantage for mining blocks in certain consensus protocols, such as proof of work. Today, there are hundreds of billions of dollars denominated in cryptocurrencies that rely on blockchain ledgers, as well as the thousands of blockchain-based applications storing value in blockchain networks. Cryptocurrency and blockchain-based applications require solutions that guarantee quantum resistance in order to preserve the integrity of data and assets in their public and immutable ledgers. We have designed and developed a layer 2 solution to secure the exchange of information between blockchain nodes over the internet and introduced a second signature in transactions using post-quantum keys. Our versatile solution can be applied to any blockchain network. In our implementation, quantum entropy was provided via the Iron Bridge platform from CQC, and we used LACchain Bisu as the blockchain network. There were a lot of new words for my tongue. Jesus. I have no clue what I just read.
Me neither. I
Bullish.
did look up the university though, and apparently it's the big. I thought it was just some university, and then I remembered no, actually no, this university from deep in my mind, and apparently it's the biggest the private university in Mexico, and actually it was also the first Latin American university that was connected to the internet. So it's a pretty big deal.
Okay.
Partner.
It's very cool, and I'm sure I hope I will be able to check it out more in depth in the future. But if you want to learn about some of the terms you just pronounced correctly, I think you might want to check out King's College. These are the things that are being talked about in the developer introduction course, and in Dutch I have been trying to get both Jarno and Tim to actually check it out. It's worth it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of an inside joke probably at this point, but honestly,
you need a video to watch to see this.
But also don't forget the stuff that you're trying to understand here. These are some of the brightest minds in financial tech or in crypto spearheading this effort in LACchain, right? So it is also not strange that we might be like, wait, what?
There's no shame here.
Exactly. So don't be too hard on yourself. Also, if you're listening or checking this stuff out for yourself. I know, at least from my perspective, I'm confused most of the time, and that's only sometimes some of the parts click for me, and then you get a little bit more context, which makes it easier to get different clicks going. But don't get discouraged if you're into this type of stuff. Go check out the developer course and get some basics and some fundamental knowledge that provides you some context to actually read stuff like this as well.
Yeah, and the TLDR is Quant is partner, overledger integrated, number go up.
Not financial advice.
Not financial advice.
Yeah. No, but yeah, to get to your point, do the DLT course offered by Quant since February. Do it. Jarno and I are bad examples, but for the rest, do as I preach, not do as I do. But
yeah, exactly. do as I say, do as I do. Yeah, I love it.
But yeah, thanks for your case, boss. And I think people should really get into this. I've just been really busy. I've been spending a lot of time about Quant, on Quant. I mean, next to other responsibilities. I think kind of a safe case.
I'm not busting your balls.
No, but no, yeah, still, I think it's important. Yeah, the rest of, there was one other question on Instagram. About
and that's going to be the last thing, because I want to edit this. I'm going to the zoo tomorrow with the family.
Nice.
So I'm going to be out of the door pretty early, so I have to edit and upload this tonight, and it's already almost 11 o'clock.
Which one for the third time?
The zoo.
Zoo, yeah.
Blijdorp.
What's the name? Blijdorp. Okay,
Yeah.
Rotterdam. The question is about this guy on Twitter called Unquamfy Trader, and the question is,
Oh,
what's
that
wrong with him?
mother.
Beep. Demonetized.
Yeah, if only we were monetized. No, hit me with a question. I'm curious.
No, that's literally the question. Like, what's wrong with him?
Like what? Can you?
Like, as in there's this guy on Twitter
Yeah.
who continuously spreads FUD about Quant, and the question is to us, what's wrong with him? I'm not sure really, and I don't really want to spend attention. But if the people want to know,
Unquamfy Trader is I'm gonna find this.
out of all questions you could ask us, this is what you sent.
Yeah, the guy is, his name was Quamfy Trader, and he changed his handle, and now he's Unquamfy Trader. Here, let's give him some airtime.
Grab your popcorn, people, because this is gonna be a ride.
Got a horrible feeling like I want to sell everything and get the fuck out of these markets. Normally means we have bottomed. Team says nothing to community again.
Yeah, basically to summarize, this guy was Quamfy, now he's Unquamfy, and I'm not sure what's wrong with him. I think,
or he's just super sarcastic, right? He
No,
lost his
no,
patience.
he's genuinely.
Sorry,
I'm
not familiar with this guy. Sorry.
No.
No.
I had some altercations with him. Some other people, Son and all, had as well. He's what is this Bund stuff? He has more often than not really just
Leave him
shamelessly
be.
bashing and just spreading not truths. What do you do when you have something to hide? Quant Network blocked you. Well, there you go. Quant Network isn't all that keen on blocking, but he got blocked.
To get back to your point, I think the annoying part about these people, and obviously, I think people have the right to FUD. I think people have the right to be critical, but the point is that they spread literal misinformation, which sometimes has the tendency to start living its own life in the community, and that is really annoying, because then people like me, people like Jarno, people like you, Buzz, really have to do work debunking it again, because it's simply not true. You can fact check it, but because people are lazy, they prefer stupid headlines on Twitter over actual factual information you can just find if you actually put a little bit of work in. I think it's just really annoying, and I don't really want to give this guy any airtime, but here we go. Here we did it.
This man was truly on a mission on every single post to literally just slander and trigger and instigate and stir shit, and it's yeah.
Honestly, if you're annoyed by people posting stuff like this, and then I'm not talking to you, Jarno, but probably more to the guy that asked a question on Instagram, I would probably tell you to take it as an opportunity to harness your knowledge about Quant and see how obviously he is wrong or isn't wrong, right? Some points, and I'm totally not familiar, right? So please note my dogs are barging in, so that you might be hearing some loud sounds in a few seconds. But I would say take it as an opportunity to educate yourself and see how you can debunk this stuff yourself. So you harness your knowledge in the quote unquote investment you made, or the bet you're placing on your future, and take it as an opportunity to learn.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but there's no cure for stupid. Just remember that.
There isn't. There's literally no cure for stupid.
There's just people. Oh man. They simply will not take an argument or understand the argument.
But also just feel free to not read stuff like that or block people, and probably in contrast to what Tim and Andrew lived through on Instagram, that if you block some posts, you'll still see them. On Twitter, you might have better luck blocking people, and if not, you can tweet Elon, because he now owns 9%, so he can make stuff happen for you.
What's also disturbing is because if it were only in your own feed, it'd be okay. But he and other people are responding just disgusting, slanderous stuff on their partnerships, on their partners post where they use the hashtag QNT, or not even that, but where other people are asking questions related to Quant that they are then bombarding his or her question because it's simply related. It's very annoying. But anyway,
On that bombshell,
yeah, indeed.
it's time for a wrap up.
Yeah, it's to me it was a very messy episode, more messy than ever before. If you're still here, hats off to you. Apologies. We had literally planned an entire episode, and in the last minute, I managed to get the Hungarian horntail himself on, so the entire schedule got rescheduled. Hence, we are improvising this entire episode. Boss, thank you so very fucking much for being here. We're demonetized anyway, so I might as well just throw another F-bomb in there. I intentionally used F-bomb for all the Puritan Yanks.
Well, thanks for indulging me. And it was a challenge for me. It's been a while that I talked in public in English, so
well,
interesting experience.
I think you did great.
And I agree.
Back to Jarno. I mean, I'm not sure why it was a messy episode. I think I don't know. It didn't really have to be, but I felt like we went into some really in-depth stuff while not intending to make it in-depth, and then we ended up making it in-depth.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Okay. We've been talking long enough, I think. I really want to cut the episode off here.
Yeah.
Try to redirect you guys a little bit. We had some cliches again, but it was really nice to have you in the show, boss. It's really beneficial to have a third voice, also in English. In Dutch, we did it 2 times already, and it was great. I think some of the best of our shows have been with you now, so that is definitely a compliment, and I'm really
Hard to kind.
glad you were here.
I agree.
On that point,
I
we're
want to
going
ask
to end it
everybody
here.
before we throw it off, please, people, leave comments. Let us know in the comment section, or meet us on Telegram. We're in the Quamfy Lounge. I'm in every group. Tim probably also.
Yeah.
Let us know what you want
to. Second point.
Let us know what you want to see. Let us know who you want to hear. Next week we're gonna be here with 3-tail slot Hungarian horntail. There's also, like I said in the beginning, a bunch of other stuff, Twitter Spaces coming up. We're gonna be there as well.
Yeah.
Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, we'll
Stay
see you on the
Quamfy.
next one. Stay Quamfy.
Bye bye.